No.
Hi, how are you, Tim?
Good, Ginger. How are you?
Well, pretty good considering I'm figuring out the world of technology.
Oh my gosh, you and me both. Um, yeah, this whole thing. Um, I was born at the wrong time, and maybe you were too,
Me
because these,
too.
these kids know everything about everything, and so you should see me try to get something on Instagram. Oh my God, it takes me an hour and a half, and it's like, oh, okay, you have to hit this to get. Oh, it's crazy. But anyway, here we are. Look at us.
I know, we're in the modern age.
We are. Yeah, I know, and fantastic. We look good.
We do. We look healthy. We aren't coughing or living
No,
without utilities.
absolutely not. And uh, my voice is a little bit kind of raspy, a little bit, I guess. But I think that's how it usually is. And I haven't been exercising it enough because there's not enough places for me to work. In fact, there's no place for me to work. And that's why I'm so excited to be talking to you and
I
having a
know.
chance to actually do what I'm supposed to do with my life, which is talk and hopefully be funny.
Well, and how did you get started in all of this? Because I was reading through your bio and it discussed that you used to teach at a Catholic school.
I did.
How did
Uh,
that turn into comedy?
well, you know what? I was into comedy a little bit before I got into teaching. I didn't
Okay.
really know that it was uh, stand-up comedy that I was doing because it wasn't. I was doing funny songs, and so all through college, I write these funny songs, and once in a while I do like a campus coffee house or something like that, and people would laugh, and I auditioned at a bunch of different clubs in Chicago, like music clubs, folk clubs back in the day,
Yeah.
and I'd come in and I'd do my open mic, and people would laugh, and the owner would say, "Hey, come back next open mic night and buy some more drinks." So, and that was about it. And I happened to walk into a comedy club called Zanies in Chicago. One night I saw that they were having an open mic, so I went in and I did my stuff, and they told me, "Okay, this is on Sunday night." They said, "Come back Wednesday," and I did, and I did some more, and then they said, "Come back Friday and Saturday, and we'll pay you." I said, "Oh,
Oh,
okay. Well," I said, "I guess I'm not really a musician. I'm a comedian." So that is all the uh, prologue to your question, which is how did I get into teaching? Well, um, I taught religion in an all-girls Catholic high school. Um, I was born and raised Catholic, so I felt like I knew that kind of stuff pretty well. I was a philosophy major in college.
wow.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? And it's kind of what I do.
Hmm.
And it turns out it's like I think,
It
therefore
makes,
I am. So
yep.
so it's reaffirming every day, thanks to Descartes. Um, so I studied at Northwestern University and Loyola University, and I got my degree, and I got my fine bachelor's degree in philosophy, and then it was like, okay, now I have to get a job.
Hmm.
So I don't know how to do anything except um, and so I thought, well, I can teach because that's what people think. People think, oh, I can teach until they try it, and then they
uh,
realize it's not that easy. But
no.
I taught for 3 years, and I think the kids learned a lot. The hard thing about teaching religion, the difficult questions kids come up with. One question I always used to get is, what's the difference between purgatory and hell? The way I used to try to explain it is, well, hell, of course, is very, very hot. And purgatory, it's not so
Good
much
definition.
the humidity. That's what makes hell so
I like
bad.
that.
So yeah, the dry heat, you can stand that, but
Yes, you can stand hell, just not purgatory.
exactly right. Exactly.
Yep.
Purgatory. That's that. That's that. But, so anyway, so anyway, I taught for 3 years, and then I broke into Zanies at Actually, after my second year of teaching and my third year of teaching, I was emceeing 7 nights a week at Zany's and
Wow.
getting up in the morning and going in and teaching Genesis and Leviticus and all of that stuff. Um, so it was busy. It was exhausting. Um, my wife and I had been married about 2 years, and so she was a teacher too for a while, and then she realized one of us has to make some money.
Yeah.
So she went into a financial thing, which worked out well. And so that's it. But now she works for me. So all
Perfect.
we have, yeah, no, it's great. And we traveled around, for 30 years together, seeing the United States and once in a while another country, preferably Canada because we could drive to it, but some other places overseas. So anyway, it's been a really, really fun journey. And it takes me to Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I've done so many shows in Nebraska. And I'm from Illinois, so I consider myself a Midwest neighbor.
Definitely.
And I have flown into Eppley Field so many times on Southwest Airlines. Um,
Southwest, they're the best.
they are the best.
Yep.
People make fun of them, but it's like they're cheap,
Yep.
and they're very casual. They're funny, and they don't charge you for bags.
I know. I like those
So
guys in Delta. That's who I fly.
yeah, yeah. Well, I do Southwest except when I've been doing some work for Carnival Cruise Line, and they
Nice.
don't let you pick your airline. So whatever airline they put me on. So
Gotcha.
so it's usually out of O'Hare. Um, in Chicago, I'm a Midway guy,
Okay.
because it's closer to where I live and it's a lot less hassle. So anyway, okay, so enough about airlines. Uh,
But it's important right now because they're one of the safe places to be.
they are, as it turns out, they were doing this thing where they were doing flights to nowhere. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. This, I guess people missed flying, missed being in an airplane. So the airlines were booking these things. I don't know how many people did it, where it's just like, okay, we get to go to the airport, we get to sit in the jet for 3 hours, we get to circle around or whatever, and then we land. And it's like, okay, that was fun, I guess. Um,
Wow. I
if
hadn't
you're,
heard of that.
yeah, yeah, that's what they've done. And as it turns out, now we're finding that may be the safest place to be in the pandemic because they've got the best air circulation and supply
Yeah.
and all that. So, not to mention you get peanuts. Um,
I like the little cookies. The
Biscos.
yes,
Oh, I actually bought some because
love those.
you can get them on planes. I said,
Hmm.
this is so good, but I've never seen them in a store. And then I was shopping. It's like Biscos. I'm going to get them.
They have
Um,
them at Costco in huge boxes.
oh God, yeah, they're really good. Okay, all right.
Yep.
So far this is going well. We
Yes.
got airlines, we've got technology, we've got Biscos, and we have flood aid,
Yes.
which is another thing that I was going to talk about Nebraska and how much I love Nebraska and the people of Nebraska. Really, really nice people.
We
And
are all right. You know that?
yeah, and I've worked in not only in Omaha and Lincoln,
Hmm.
um, and Grand Island, which
Okay.
has a very, very strong Bob affiliate. So I get there every so often. But I also do, because I do a lot of corporate stuff, I do a lot of ag shows. And so I've been
Interesting.
all over the state. Um, I have a question about Shadron. Have you been up to Shadron?
Not for a long time.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I thought that place would do so much better. I mean, after they built those beautiful rock things that are so high up
Yeah.
and pretty, it's like there's like nobody there when I was there. It's like
No.
they put a lot of money into that. And okay, I'm being stupid. All right.
No.
I know it's a natural farming thing, But when I got to Chatham, I was like, oh, this isn't the Midwest.
No, Nebraska, you forget how diverse it is. I had intended on going to the Badlands and going camping with a friend, but she got COVID. So we didn't go this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, luckily she had a mild situation. Her family didn't end up getting it. It was just her. But it kind of, put a damper on the camping plans. We thought that would be safe. Well, no, we can't be around each other at that point.
No.
So
camping is safe unless the person you're camping with has COVID.
has COVID. Then it's a complication. So,
and it could be you. You don't even know.
No, that's the really, I think, the hardest part for everyone to grasp is it's nothing personal. It's not judgment. It's just the simple fact that you have no idea. So if you care about other people, you try to protect them from you and hope they protect you from them.
Wear a
Mask. Exactly.
Not hard.
No, it's not hard, and they're really cost effective.
Oh my gosh, yeah, compared to a ventilator.
Yes. Much more portable.
And you can buy nice ones.
Yeah.
You can even put sayings on them.
All kinds of things.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like
no, Jim was. Well, and Jim, when we were talking about flood aid, our goal with the nonprofit is to use the arts, education, and nutrition to help people in times of struggle, because so often when you're struggling, you cut all that stuff off. You don't educate yourself on something new. You don't let yourself go to a comedy show or take a workshop.
Right.
So we decided, you know what, if we can offer this stuff really cost effective, it's going to be helpful to people. And then when we were talking about flood aid, which started the whole concept of the nonprofit, that came from Farm Aid, which I grew up on, watching it every year, taping it on the VCR, saving all the tape. Steve Earle, Johnny Cash wasn't on there. John Prine, I think, was a couple times. John Cougar, Springsteen. Yeah, it was great. And that was really our hope with flood aid, but we wanted it to be diverse. So when I was talking with Jim, right away, he's like, Tim Cavanagh, we've got to call him. He's great.
I love him.
He is one of the best humans I know.
I would hug him, except
of COVID and Zoom.
Yeah. I don't think he likes me that much.
Oh, I think he likes you. He always speaks highly of you and was so excited when you agreed to do this. So
I'm so disappointed that ironically was rained out.
Yeah. And then the second round was not, it wasn't, it didn't feel natural, but we tried to make it work. And then when it fell apart that last time, it actually was a really good lesson, because we wanted to make it be big, to raise big money to help people in a big way.
Right, of course.
It made sense, but the bigger it got, the less it became about the flood. And the more it became about, well, I want my ticket in this spot. Well, I can't believe, are we going to have popcorn? Like, it became about these details that didn't have to do with the cause. So when we broke it back down and scaled it down to, we ended up doing a fundraiser in West Point at one of their smallest bars. And raised a huge amount of money, had so much fun. And we reminded, that's what it's about. That's why we were doing it. So keeping it small has been good. And then as we've moved forward, keeping Blue Nebraska going, we're still hearing about people in town who are finally getting plumbers out to their houses.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The devastation and, lives ruined and family farms that are just,
Well, and, the community, there's only so many people who can do plumbing and electrical and construction. And when everything is wiped out, you're on a waiting list for 1.5 years. I have a really good friend who is so excited because he has walls and he painted them and he bought toilets. So now he just needs, to get a plumber to hook it up. He's been living in a duplex, paying rent and paying to reconstruct his life for 1.5 years.
Ginger,
yes.
What are we doing? Why don't we become plumbers or electricians? You know what? We've got some downtime here. Uh,
This is true.
you need to learn a trade.
Yeah, I've thought about a lot. It's funny because I was thinking to myself as I was listening, I was walking at the State Lakes today, listening to your interview and thinking, he's got to have something in his wheelhouse that has to do with grammar because you do so many plays on words.
Yeah.
And it makes a ton of sense that you have a philosophy background because you're thinking and observing and watching and really being able to be adjacent to watch humanity be goofy as hell.
Oh God.
And then go ahead
And my job is to point out what other people don't understand, and a lot of it is with words. I mean, it is words put together in a weird way, and whatever. I've always been a word guy, and people say, how do you describe your comedy? It's like, do you talk about what you did that day? And it's like, no, no, no. I talk about some other thing that maybe you haven't thought about. What?
and that's what makes you unique, and I think that's what makes you someone that anyone can receive and appreciate, whether you're old, young, women, men, any gender, any race. You're talking about musings, and we all have them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go back and try to do a couple of examples of what we're talking about. I should do some jokes for that sake. We were talking about being a religion teacher, and I was teaching all girls. They're freshman high school girls, so they're 13, 14 years old. Just such nice kids. And I would always try to teach them something that they could use in their real life. And so we got to the story of Adam and Eve, and I told them, I said, now, girls, Eve made basically two mistakes. Number one, she ate the forbidden fruit. Number two, she settled for the first guy who came along. You don't have to do that.
You don't. What shape would she be in if she'd have just waited?
I know, exactly, exactly right.
Oh, that's great.
So it's just you break it down. The point is, don't break it down. Don't ever break it down because it's all stupid.
But that's the beauty of it. When you can look at life and recognize it's really kind of stupid and pretty.
It is,
and we all go through the same experiences at some point in time. It lets you realize you don't have to be perfect. Everyone is like you and unlike you at the same time. And that's what I feel like with this pandemic. Those of us who've had more time off, we really probably are recognizing how much we are like everyone else. We are not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with everything that's going on in society right now and the divisions in our country and all of that, it's like when you sit back and just look and you watch and you actually listen to people, we're not that far apart. We all want the same things.
Yeah.
In our lives, we want to keep our family close and secure, and we want to be able to feed people. And when Mother Nature strikes, which it happened with the flooding, it's happening now, we rally around each other, and we try to help, and we try to protect, and we try to provide. And that's what's happening. It's gotten really weird how people are expressing themselves. The mask thing is perfect, but I'm not political in my act, or
I didn't know if you would bring any politics in after this whole situation, since there's been so much of them.
I love people, and that has been in some senses a weakness, but not really. It's just how I was raised, and I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think we're all the same. We're all equal, and so we all should be treated with respect and with dignity, and that's what makes me mad. People go on about, oh, it's political correctness. a lot of it is just being polite. A lot of it is
Yes.
just having manners, trying to understand, oh, so that's why a Native American would get mad about this. If you think about it, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, well, yeah, because you're dissing them all the time, with some of the words and the language and whatever. It's just like, okay, just respect everybody, uh, love everybody, and it's really not that hard.
Well, and there's a freedom. Like once I went to yoga school, that helped me, like everything else that I had learned. I have an English degree, went to high school, knew how to make coffee, all that stuff seemed very, like finite, like, okay,
Yeah,
beginning, end, beginning, end. And then I went to yoga school and realized, wow, this would take lifetimes to even begin to understand.
right,
And
right.
then that transferred into life where I realized, wow, I really don't know crap about anything. And I've got a good friend who always says, hey, every day's your first day. And I think that gives you some freedom because then you don't have to act like you're right about everything or an expert.
There's a lot of wisdom,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I mean, people say, well, you should have a message in your actor. I'll do these corporate shows and it's like, yeah, do something motivational or whatever. If I figured it out,
Right.
that would be great, but I don't have the answers. I mean, and all the questions that people have been trying to answer, or they think they have answers for, have been struggled with by great thinkers for all time, and they haven't
Yeah.
come up with answers. It's and you have to be patient with yourself and patient with others because we're not all in the same place in terms of uh, our evolution in terms of our thinking.
Yeah.
So,
That's what makes it fun. Like if you look at anyone you come across, you just recognize, wow, like that's their perspective. So I wonder what their life was about. How did they get that perspective? Why do they have that response? And if
yep,
I think if you let
exactly.
yourself be curious, it allows you that opportunity to relate and grow. But when you are scared or maybe really convicted, then you miss some of those opportunities. And I think with COVID,
Absolutely.
you definitely need to be curious.
If we all just took the time to talk to people and listen to
Yeah.
people and hear their perspective and hear what they've been through. And there's a lot of explanations for a lot of things you're seeing based on their background, what they've experienced, their parents, how they were raised. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. As someone said, uh, hate. I don't think hate is a natural response.
No,
It's a learned response.
agreed.
And you can look at you just divide all of your friends into different camps, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you were raised by very angry people, and you can't help it.
No.
It's just the way it was, and or you were raised by very loving people, and it shows. You know, um, you just have to spend some time in their shoes. I know that's a cliche, but
It's true. Well, and like
if,
right
if,
now,
if all of us just respected each other and respected where we came from, you can learn from everybody. You do
and
learn from everybody.
absolutely. And like right now, you're a celebrity. So okay, let me backtrack. There's a
I'm a
couple.
celebrity with nothing to say,
You have plenty to say.
but I've been talking for a half an hour, so
But we're talking about things that are relatable. But often, like with
very
celebrities,
important, I think.
yeah, I would not. Okay, so our goal was to be able to have these interviews with different people and have people attend for a really low price. That way, regardless of your economic situation, you could be there and you could learn something to empower you. Well,
Absolutely.
we were going to be limited because it would have been who can we afford to get here? Well, now
Right.
because of Zoom, I can afford
Everybody,
to
everybody.
recruit and ask anyone to do a Zoom interview with us. So I feel like it's got to be really, really hard for you guys to not be doing your job, because there is an energy and an exchange that you feel as the comedian and we feel as the audience that both of us needs.
Absolutely.
But now we get to know you. And I think it's
Yes,
going to be,
yes. Good or bad, you get to know me.
yes, but it'll be
So,
cool, I think, as we go into 2021, when we can start hopefully going out and doing things. There's, I would assume, going to be a little more of a closeness between a lot of entertainers and their audience, because
uh,
through this time, we've had way more access to you guys. We get to
right,
hear you do
right.
interviews and,
That's absolutely correct. That's
see all your trophies in your house. That's exciting stuff.
isn't that fun? Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
my wife's trophies. Here, I'll show you the one trophy I have. For me. See. And this was given to me as a joke.
Okay.
But it was a corporate client, and he gave me this beautiful. It's not a likeness of me. It's
No.
um, no, and it's Tim Cavanagh, comedian of the century.
I love it.
And it was given to me by a guy who worked for a company called Jostens. They make school rings, and so
Yeah.
they do recognition. So they make things like this. It was sort of like, and I've done probably 10 shows for these folks, and they
That's
really did like
awesome.
me. But it was sort of like they just made this, and the guy who gave it to me has such a great sense of humor, and it's completely him. Comedian
That's
of the century.
perfect.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
I'll take that.
Let's go with that. I mean, if he could make me a Nobel Prize, he would. But
Well, Nobel Prizes, they're hard to come by.
yes, they are.
Yes.
You have to earn them.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say much else about that.
No, that's all. That's all. Um,
But what happens?
Now, Alfred Nobel, and I learned this from doing my research for Tim Cavanagh's Cavalcade of Celebrity Birthdays on the Donald
Yes.
Trump show. Alfred Nobel, who founded the Nobel Prize, invented gunpowder. And this is supposedly a true story. When he was old, a newspaper got word that he had died.
Okay.
And they published an obituary on him, all about how he was responsible for killing so many people with his invention of gunpowder. So it was, there would be guns and bombs, and
Right.
this guy is responsible for so many deaths.
Wow.
And he read it, and he was like, "Oh, this is my legacy. This is how I'm going to go down." So that's when he decided, I want to do something humanitarian. And so he established this prize and gave, whatever it is, $1 million or whatever, to everybody who wins his prize for things that they're contributing to the good of humanity. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it is cool. And I mean, yeah, if he hadn't invented it, somebody would have. But
Right.
at least he had the conscience to
Yeah.
realize, okay, I've got to give back. And I've got to take this money that I've made from this and invest it in humanity. And so it's kind of cool. So that's
I
why
like
I want a Nobel Prize. And I think that this is the tape I'm going to use to the Nobel Committee.
Okay.
You and I could be co-winners.
Perfect.
That would look nice, right?
Wouldn't
Right.
it?
Plant over here.
Oh, I think so.
So you know what? I would put that front and center and just put the plant in another room.
You
If I had
think?
a Nobel Prize, all of it would be gone. I'd be sitting here with my Nobel
Scoot
Prize.
everything out and just have one shelf.
As it is, I'm sitting here with where's my statue of me? I can't even remember what it was. But anyway, yeah, that's
No, I have empty boxes, and my cat hasn't shown up yet, so I'm waiting to hear. I have an
well.
old rescue cat who comes in sometimes.
So let's talk about. I'm doing a show
Friday.
Friday, and it's going to be on your Facebook page, uh,
Correct.
Facebook Live. And I have set it up so that I think anybody can see it, anybody can get to it.
Awesome.
Um, so, um, and I figured out how to get to it.
You did good.
Which is great. And basically, it's going to be just a half hour of me sitting here with my guitar, with some funny songs and
Okay.
jokes and things that I've actually prepared. Um, this has been light on jokes, but I'll make up for it on Friday.
Well,
Um,
and this was to get to know you because I put on the Facebook post today that, get to know who this guy is and then give him some questions, interact with him because he is
yeah,
missing people. So
absolutely,
hopefully you get a
absolutely.
bunch of feedback and interact.
And on the screen, look, they have all the questions and stuff like that.
Yep.
And most of the time, it's like, okay, I'm trying to get through this song, and the person is asking me questions, and sometimes putting jokes up, and it's just like, okay, I really just have to try to concentrate. I'll
That's
get to the
awesome.
questions eventually. But yeah, no, this is great. This is great. So it's going to be Friday night, 7 o'clock
Correct.
Central Time.
Yep.
If you go to the uh, Nebraska the Blue Nebraska Foundation,
Yep.
the Blue Nebraska Foundation website, um, you will find us.
And learn all about us.
And if you can, um, we are accepting donations for
Yes.
Flood Aid Nebraska 19 and for all the good things that Blue Nebraska does.
Yes. What we'd like to do with this round of donations is find a family or an individual who's still struggling and trying to figure out how to put their life back together after the flood, because I know there's a lot of people who there was no flood insurance. They're having to rebuild their lives off of money that they didn't have.
Yeah, yeah.
So trying to help out that way. And I was going to ask you, through this whole time, how has your comedy helped you during COVID? Now that you can't go on stage and perform.
It saves it. Right now, I'm staying alive in part through comedy.
Yeah.
Um, the people at Bob and Tom have been kind enough to give me an opportunity to do some writing for them. So I'm writing part time for Bob and Tom. So every night, I'll finish with you here, and then I'll have my assignment for tonight from Bob and Tom, and I'll try to write some jokes. I will write some jokes, and so that is a little bit of money, which helps.
Definitely.
And number two, it just keeps my brain where it should be.
Yeah.
In some ways, I've been doing this a long time, and uh, I've always been a guy who I didn't say no to very many things. I mean, I want to work. I like to work. That's how I make money.
Yeah.
And so to actually have like 6 months where it's like I, I don't have any shows.
Yeah.
I did one show in August. Um, that was very, very safe. It was on a small little boat up in Hudson, Wisconsin, down the St. Croix River. And
Nice.
it's a little dinner, comedy cruise, you know, 40 people. Oh my God, it was a blast. It was so fun. And I was so nervous. It's like, I haven't been on stage in a
I
while.
wondered if you got nervous.
And it was, well, I'm nervous all the time. I was born nervous. I used to try to hide that, but it's like, you know, I stammer, like, I'm a mess. But, uh, but,
That's
uh,
okay.
but you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because I'm not the only one.
No, I'm a
So,
hot mess.
and so I had such a blast, and it was so rewarding, and it just reminded me of why I do what I do. Because it's like, yeah, it's as you mentioned earlier, it's like a shot of adrenaline when you get that laughter,
I'm
and
sure.
it makes you feel good. makes other people feel good. I mean, it really is just, I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do. But obviously, things that I've done for 35 years to make a living, I can't do right now. And
No.
and hopefully, you know, we'll make some progress and we'll get somewhere, but it's not going to be for a little while.
It's
And
not
so
going to be quick.
just like I have to hunker down. So I'm doing a lot of writing. I'm doing working on a couple other projects that are comedy related. So, you know, I'm trying to take the time. I find myself busier than I thought I would be, and that's good. And
Yeah.
that's good. And it's like it's given me some time to work on some things that I used to do a joke with my wife. He said, "You've got all these notebooks full of writings that you know you've had, and you won't throw them away because
Right.
I believe in every one of those notebooks there's two good jokes in there. I just have to find the
Absolutely.
time to do it." I used to joke with her. I said, "Well, you know, sometime when I'm in traction, I'm going to go through all of this stuff." And she said, "You know, basically you're in traction right now.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the time to do it." And
So have you
so,
found two good jokes each time?
um, you know what? I've only begun to go through the notebooks because, oh God, yeah, your space there is so nice, and it's you got space.
Right.
And my office, um, I'm not going to show you. I'm
It's
not going to
lived
show you,
in.
but it is lived with. It is lived in, and it's got piles of files and papers and pieces of paper with things jotted down on them, and some of them are funny, and some of them I thought were funny, and uh, you know, I need to sit down, cull all of those things, and find out what I've got. In the meantime, I'm writing new stuff for Bob and Tom, and keeping one or two for myself, and
Nice.
so it's all good. I mean, for me as a creative person, you know, I'm working. I'm not making very much money,
Yeah.
which was the beauty of what I get to do for a living.
Yeah.
I get to be creative and uh, make some money.
That's such a blessing.
Now, oh my God, I've I have the best life, luckiest. I'm so lucky um, that I've had so many people help me along the way, and uh, I have a very weird brain, and somehow I've been able to do something with it.
But you know, that the weird, I think that's the stuff that speaks to all of us because we're all weird. We just, we're all weird,
We are all
all
weird.
crazy. And we just don't express that. And then when you can find someone who gets on stage and creates humor out of musings and random thoughts that we've all
Right.
had, you recognize you're not alone. And then you can laugh at yourself a little more. That's
Yep.
therapy.
Let me do uh, an old joke of mine, but it's one of my favorites from my act.
Okay.
I talk about my wife. I said, you know, we've been married a long time, and I think it's important to keep romance in your relationship. I know I still love it when my wife runs her fingers through my hair.
Yeah.
I know you look at me like, Tim, you don't have that much hair.
You've got volume.
Well, she doesn't have all her fingers, so it works out perfect. That's made in heaven, really. It's like, okay, I don't know where I came up with that, but hey,
I like it.
I don't have much hair. She doesn't have all her fingers. It's a gift of the Magi.
Well, and I was reading through your bio too, and you talked about your sixth round of books because you
Oh
believe in
yeah,
creating each book individually.
I
And
print
I
them
enjoyed
limited.
that. That's that play on words that you just, you're reading a sentence and you think it's serious. Like, wow, he has had 6 rounds that he's published. And then you're like, oh, I love that kind of stuff. I have an
Well,
English degree, I like
and
words.
in my biography, I've had so many people have gone on stage to introduce me, and they look at my bio, and they say, and he's the author of Chicken Soup for the Vegetarian Soul.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, this is not really a book; it's a joke.
It's great. You should write that book. You've got time now.
I should write the book. Oh, I got the time. I'm in
Yeah.
tracking.
Well, and tell us a couple other things. Like, I intended on introducing you, but we started talking right away. You've been on Comedy Central. How long have you been working with Bob and Tom?
I've been working with Bob and Tom probably, oh God, going on 25 years.
Holy
Uh,
buckets.
yeah. And just, I'm not employed by them. I'm a frequent guest, but very frequent guest.
Yeah.
And they've been so wonderful to me. And they're heard all over the country, and that's why I get to come to Nebraska
Yeah.
as much as I do, because they've got some great affiliates in Nebraska. And yeah, I've been working with Bob and Tom 25 years. I've done stuff
Dr.
on
Demento?
ABC TV. Dr. Demento,
Yeah.
who is still going. He's
That's
still doing new
outstanding.
shows online. If you go to drdemento.com, you'll find him there. And he's still going. He's always been a great guy. I've known him.
Yeah.
So I've had 30 some songs on Dr. Demento over the years. So it's great. It's I've been able to work steadily
Yeah.
for it's a performer's dream. It really is, and a writer's dream.
Well, and you seem deserving. You are a very easy to talk with gentleman, and I love the fact, and I'm sure a lot of your audience loves the fact, that your jokes, your satire, your commentary, it never gets vulgar.
No.
You have little twists, little
There-
things that maybe the adults get and the kids don't.
Yes.
And that's, to me, that's a true comedian. If you have to
Thank you.
cuss and have everything be a joke about sex, that's
Yeah.
not comedy. So,
You know what? That's exactly. I'm not prudish. I'm not. When I see other comedians, I will laugh if it's funny. I don't care if it's dirty or if it's lewd or whatever. But it really goes back to the way I was raised. I mean, I was raised by very nice, decent people. We didn't swear. We didn't talk about body parts. I mean, we were probably just very repressed Catholics.
gotcha.
But you know what? In terms of my comedy, I'm glad that I was raised the way I was. When guys start doing guy talk, it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
And they make a joke about it sometimes on Bob and Tom, because
I've heard a couple.
there's some words that just like I will never be able to say that because I find it disrespectful and I'm not going to. So that's the way I was raised.
It's refreshing. It really is refreshing. And that was when I listened to some of your stuff and Jim had recommended you. I thought, oh my gosh, you're perfect, because we wanted that event to be family friendly and we wanted that event to be inspirational. And I feel like if you are cracking jokes about things that everyone can relate to without putting someone down, that's inspirational.
That is exactly what I try to do.
Yeah, well, you succeed at it.
So, well, thank you.
Yes.
We've talked a long time.
But it was great, and
I think
people know who you are.
But I love it. I love
Me
talking,
too.
and I'm so glad to be involved with the Blue Nebraska Foundation, and it's great work that you're doing. And so let's raise some money on Friday night. Come and watch this show. If people, I'm not used to that. Come and join us Friday night, 7:00, 30 minutes. No audience, but we will have a little enhancement. So, which I haven't done before. We'll see how it works, but it'll be fun. It will be fun, and hopefully you'll laugh at home, and you have to laugh really loud so that I can hear it here in Chicago.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed the conversation. It's great to get to know you after the emails and the texts.
I
And
know, I know.
yeah,
It's like we know each other already.
absolutely.
This is even more natural than I thought it would be.
Bonus. So, all right. We'll have fun writing tonight. And I really look forward to getting to watch you Friday night.
Excellent, Ginger. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tim. Have a good night.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.